So let's go. We'll start with a short introduction of Chrono Consult. We are the French distributor of the West Result system in France. We have 9 employees, and we propose multiple services like registration, timing, GPS tracking, and also printing the bib plate and etc. using West Result system. And we use also and we deploy also multiple technology like GPS, active and passive chip, photo cell, photo finish. Last year we had more than 200 events for timing use and 143 events where we use GPS. We time 250,000 people for timing and more than 14,000 people for GPS. Our biggest event weekend, we had 11 events in the same time for timing and 9 events in the same time for GPS tracking. And the biggest number of hardware on the same week, it was 64 West Result system on the same weekend and 106 more 600 GPS. Thanks to Stefan for this weekend. So we have more than 1,600 devices now in stock, only Queclink GL3xx. We have one full-time people, me, and half time during the season from March to November to help me for the logistic topic. We cover a wide range of sports like sled dog currently, stand-up paddle, mountain biking, pro cycling, ultra cycling, trail running, adventure racing, motorsport. Yes, all the sport outside. I think we can reply to the request if need. And the average on the season, it's 100 devices per event, but it's very large. And for example, I put some example. Pro cycling, we can use from 3 to 15. And it's the same on trail running event. I have some event with only 1 devices up to... It's not quite this year. I think we deploy on trail running more than 600 devices on Réunion Island on a new ultra trail. It was an old slide, sorry, but okay. We can have a large range of type of customer. We have also a large disparity into the turnover. For example, we do a quarter of turnover using on ultra cycling events, with an average order value per event of 6,000 euros. The same part for trail running event, but with an average order value per event only of 2,000 euros because there are less devices on this type of event. And we have also, it's quite specific, I think, of the French market, but we have also 15 resellers, that another timer who will use the Westmap system in France, but through our account. So we generate quite 10% of turnover using this timekeeper in France. And it's the global repartition, the global chart of turnover. So 2 big parts with ultra cycling, another part with trail running, and after a lot of small type of event. Our workflow. To beginning with the customer acquisition, we don't need to do email campaign. We will only work with word of mouth only, and we wait that we receive incoming request. Okay, and after the first contact, I will create a quotation into our CRM, and I add also we have also a small tool to access to our planning and add. It's a planning where I can put a new event. Okay, I receive a request, for example, for this weekend. I will do a test. Okay. I can manage the date of the event. I can also add immobilization duration. So I need to send the devices from the Monday, for example, up to the next Wednesday. Okay. Up. And in this part, I can put inside the which device I need to send devices, but also accessories like charger, waterproof pouch, etc. I can add, for example, 50 devices here. Okay, it's the first part, and I can say, okay, the contract is already signed or not. It's if I don't confirm the event, it's only in work in progress, and I can confirm it. Okay, so we can manage here the different volume, the total volume we need to deploy on each weekend during each the season from this tool. After a few days before the event, the main workflow is to, in the same time with random order, to set up the hardware, but also set up the REST map part and ship the devices. And we will try this season a new tool, a custom tool, to request the API of REST map and also request the API of the other tool just shown just before. I have every event in my list, and I can for example, I did a test here, test event. I can unlink. Okay, I have, for example, I did a REST map test. I have this line is the REST map tracking maps. This line is Robert line, the our schedule. We can merge the two events to say, okay, it's the same event. And I can access to the left part, the date of the event, the date of the shipping, the address to generate after the label. I can I have some checkbox to say, okay, I put in the boxes all the material needs. The middle part is to generate the configuration from here directly. I can create a new configuration. I can switch in English. I have two options. I can use a wizard system to say, okay, I want to work this weekend on a cycling event. I need to have, for example, 20 hours of autonomy, and I don't need the SOS, for example, up, and I can click on a button to generate directly the INI file, or I can have a more advanced system. I can select up my REST map test. Okay, I have the date already done using REST map API. I use the checksum. I will show you later where I can use the checksum to be sure that the configuration is pushed to the devices. I can select what I want, and I can generate the. It's black. Yes, I think it's my setting from my Windows. I don't know. I can switch into white now. Maybe yes. Do you think we could release the?
In the recording, you have the real screen recording without the light noise. This is better.
It's better, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have my two configuration files here. I have all the starter requests by use into REST map, and I can push the configuration directly using this button. Okay, I have the feedback from REST map system, and if we switch to the tracker page, I can select the REST map test here. Okay, my 10 devices. And if I show the pending, okay, you can show that I push the configuration directly to the REST map tracker page. And the only step to do is to turn on the devices and check the. I add the checksum I previously showed. It's to be sure it's a random number to be sure that, for example, each events use a different checksum. I don't remember exactly. It was, I think, 2756, and once the device will be turned on, receive the new INI file, the report distance will display for every devices the checksum to be sure, okay, all the settings are pushed into the devices. Okay, and to finish with this software, this website, I can generate my label using my carrier, and I can see also the settings used into the REST map tracking maps to be sure that I already check every settings because sometimes I don't have the biggest problem when you work with several events on the same weekend. Sometimes the organizer don't send you all the information at one time. We will receive sometimes the GPS track after another file for the participant, etc., etc. So you work several times on the event, and at the end you don't remember if everything is fine. So from here I can manage if I did the settings, if the setting is correct, and I can also checkbox the different steps. Okay, my config is ready, my config is pushed, my devices are loaded, the participant list is imported, the label is correct because you will see later, but I put a label on each devices. If GPX is charged, settings are okay, API is configured, timing is okay, the shipment is ready, and the invoice is already created. So we will try on this workflow this year. In detail, I will store always the devices with a full battery to be able to send any device when I have a request to be able to send the same day. Until now, I use a barcode on the side of the devices to use a barcode scanner, and I store all the GPS in the big box with a barcode visible to be able to save time and be able to scan the devices directly. It's our current workflow, but I think from tomorrow we will use a new Tanvir application to optimize this workflow. But until yesterday, we opened an Excel sheet with a participant list provided by the organizer, and I will scan the big column with my friendly name devices, okay, my 350 device, and I have a formula to get the EME I need to push into REST map. But yes, it was the past system. After, I love to create a lot of draft tracking maps to manage several settings. For example, I need to on some event you need to push several refresh rate linked to the real use of the devices. So I create several tracking maps for preparation. I will upload tracking maps devices on each tracking maps, and it's allow into the tracker page to have filter using the event filters. And it's super easy to filter from, for example, here to say, okay, these devices, I have the same checksum for every devices, check the movement, etc. And I have also the main event here, but I keep always the settings tracking maps. In case of, for example, if the organizer remove the devices from the official tracking maps. On each labels, but it's the same with Tanvir app. Maybe in the future we will, when we are on the field with to distribute the devices, I think we will move our process on the app of Tanvir. But currently we put on each devices a small label, small removable label, and we need to import the Excel sheet into Word to generate this PDF with the name of the athlete, the bib number, and the number of the devices to be able to distribute efficiently the devices on the start line. I use the INI file to be sure that whatever happens, I'm sure I push every information into the devices whatever the previous event, I push again each time the 100 settings I can manage using the Queclink. So I no doubt about the settings of the devices inside the devices, and I put it with a checksum to be sure everything were correct inside my file. And I put everything in the box, included the prepaid return label to save time and have no discussion with the customer. And I send also a final email with the last information to give the number of the hotline if needed, all the specific information linked to the event, because you need to know that I think 99% of our event we manage them remotely. Well, I'm never on the event, so except I think last season 2 or 3 event. All other 140 events were managed remotely. So I need to have a simple email with a bullet point mode to say, okay, the participant is okay. If you need any information, you can call this number, etc. After the event, I scan the device into the original Excel file to detect missing units, and I put them in charge to be able to send the device again as soon as possible. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if it's you or if it's RaceMap. Another use case, Conrad. I'm a lazy guy, so the less work I do, the better I feel. Every year we have to chase people with trackers, and every year Mickael and I just pull their hair out because, somebody drives off on the highway with the trackers. You have to call them or whatever. Is there a way for you or him or you two together, when a device finishes, if it moves within 3 kilometers of the finish line, to send me a flag and say, this is a problem. This guy has finished. The tracker is still moving within, I don't know, maybe it's 5K. I don't know. Is there a way to do that?
It's on the paper. I think it's quite simple, but yeah, correct. But specific away from track because the guys already crossed the finish line. But I think the biggest problem, Stefan, for you especially, most of your event you have a finish line, but it's also a crossing point because it's like a flower. The tracks come back to the finish line several times. So,
but can you add like distance travel or whatever?
But it's always complicated, because sometimes you switch devices, and I think on the paper it's quite simple to say, okay, if you need to go to this point, it's quite easy. Okay,
we can do it manually. It's just
I don't know.
It's not a big use case. It's maybe
I think it's always simple to have a volunteer on the finish line to get the device, compared to spend several days to improve some. Yes, okay. I don't know. Except you, during the season, it's very. We don't lost any devices. We have only 2 or 3 devices missing when the boxes is back, but it's not a large volume.
I mean, some of the devices we chase because people didn't return them after the finish. Others, when you do 2,500K on a bike, nothing tells you you're going to finish.
Yeah, sure.
So if you finish in the middle of France,
but receive an alert. A new alert, because away from track will work also if the guy is DNF at the middle of the track. You will receive also an alert to say, okay, this guy is leaving the track.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know if, because most of the devices were waiting, it's always DNF during the race. It's rarely you have a finisher who is not back with his devices, I think.
Okay, well,
I think it's only a few one during the season, and you use more than 3,000 devices during the season. So I don't know if it's.
It's no point spending time on this. We'll do this manually.
And do you remember we can push from West Result automatic SMS to say, okay, you are DNF. Don't forget to send back us.
If you're DNF because you had an accident, the last thing you want in 10 seconds is get an SMS saying, "Where's my tracker?"
Yeah, it's a
So we switched that off.
yeah, it's a joke, but it's the same problem. On the paper, you can say, okay, it's simple. Just add a trigger to say, okay, if I put a guy's DNF, I send automatically an SMS. So you have a lot of time where you don't want to send automatically the SMS. For example, this problem, if the guys need to go to the hospital, you need to wait a few days to send this SMS.
Oh, got his bike stolen.
It's the same. So yes, it's not simple in real life, I think. Additional information to finish. Thanks, Quad, for this wonderful tool.
Silent for this tip. This is information chain.
It's crazy. I don't know if somebody here have this problem, but until last year, maybe 2 years ago, we need to turn on the devices inside the building, go with all the devices outside, wait the GPS fix, and come back inside. And now with this internal antenna, it's okay. You turn on the devices on your desk, and okay, everything is going in the tracker page. Okay, we turn off. So it's very useful. It's crazy, like a very small thing can change your life. 99% of my events are managed remotely, as I said, and I think it was only 2 or 3 events last year because in some cases it's because we do also the timing, so we are already on site, or the settings is quite tricky. And so we organize only for the new customer most of the time, just a small short training session before the event remotely using video call. And in the other end, we assume a full support online using phone or WhatsApp. And to finish, yes, we try to be focused on the high value add events. So with large device requirement, 700 or 7,000 devices needs, with strong safety needs like ultracycling, and or with additional services to make the difference between because we have in France some other competitors, but with lower capacity ability. So we try to always to go on value add events. Okay, do you have some question? Yeah.
How do you recharge?
We have some USB dock with 60 USB port or 40 or 10. It's depend of in the office we have several. I think we can charge up to 500 devices in the same time always. And when we need to send to organizer some dock, we have the possibility to send 60, 40 or 10 USB dock with only one power adapter you can charge. And I have also some Y cable to multiply on one power cable. You can have several units USB dock. Yes, Conrad?
I assume that the physical distribution and the retrieve of the tracker is up to the organizer, right?
Yeah.
You don't care about the physical distribution, nothing. And if they lose something, you charge them with a fine?
Yeah, but at the end of this year, I think 2 devices is missing, and it's the fault of Stefan only. And all other devices were back. Sometime 1 week after, sometime 2 months after. It's not, sometime. But most of the time, we don't have any problem. It's never a problem for us.
Because the organizer are aware of this, or also the participant? Because in Italy, these things can be a complete mess. So this is our...
Yeah, but I think French people are not better, but...
For sure.
We don't work in Switzerland, but no. In fact, it's... Yes, maybe sometimes we can lost some devices. Last year, 2 devices on 14,000, so it's nothing. And sometimes we need to wait 2 or 3 months after the event to get all the devices because the guys forgot to send us back, etc. So, but it's not really a problem. And if I need to charge all the organizer to say, okay, I will, and the end of this problem, it's even if I will be on the event field, I'm not sure to be back with all the devices, because you can have always DNF guys who is back to home with the device. It's the same discussion with Stefan. A finisher, normally you are able to get the devices easily, if you are on seat or not, and the biggest problem is for the guys who is back home directly without cross the finish line.
This year we're going to start talking about this at the review. We've never done that, but last year we had so many trackers that took months. So we're now going to have a slide that says the tracker is your responsibility. That's in the conditions, but most people don't know. And if you don't return it, you'll pay 150 euros. That's it.
Yes.
And the next step, if it doesn't work, is something
we don't ask a deposit on GPS tracking event until now. We do that for some event for active timing chip, and it's worked fine on a big triathlon, I think, with several thousand people. I don't have exactly the right number, Malo, but yes, sometimes I have another example on nautic event, on the windsurf events. The guys are riders, so a lot of guys are back with timing chips. So now we ask them a deposit, and with the deposit, I think 1 week after the event, every chip are back to our office. It's not a problem. But in GPS field, I think I never put this deposit, I think, but. Or maybe one time, but we don't do that. But it's a possibility if an organizer don't play the game years after years, we can say, okay, next year we'll put a deposit, and it's always the same. If you need to use your credit card to deposit 100 euro or 200 euro, generally you will send back to the device quite faster. It's okay. Thank you.
I have a question. You have demonstrate the dashboard, which keeps you or provides you the overview and all steps of
this one.
Yeah, this one. What would you say? How big is a time saving through this dashboard?
I don't know, because I did that I think 2 weeks ago, so I don't have. We will see this season, but it is not to. I think it's not to win to save time. It's more to be. It's to be more reliable, because sometime last year we need to send 2 times the material because Hugo, my partner, forgot to put something in the boxes, or I launched a race and I forgot that I didn't take time to do the correct configuration into race map side. So I think it's more to be sure that everything is fine, everything is green, and it's not to save especially time. I think it's just to have an overview of the system. Everything is green, everything is enabled, and it's more to be more reliable. Even if I think last year we sent only one event, two boxes, because we forgot something, and I think we launched only one race with not the perfect configuration. Even if the organizer didn't see the problem, but yes, after a few hours, I forget to. I think it was only the marker timeout setting. It's not the biggest problem, but yes, it's more to solve this type of problem, I think.
Okay, and when I ask, for example, Dataspot, which runs with 600 GPS devices, a large number of devices, do you work with such a dashboard, or how do you organize your workflows?
We also have an Excel, like Mickael have it, where we read them with a QR scanner and put them inside, and then we load it up to RaceMap. And if we get them back, we read them back, and then we see which trackers are missing. Then we wrote to the organizer. Our quote is a little bit better than yours usually, because, for example, the UTMB race in South Africa is always a little bit a mess. They're missing every year about 10 or 20 devices, and then it's South Africa, it's not Switzerland, so it's not that easy to get them back. But I think they collected them, and this year when Hugo goes down to South Africa, they will have the 20 tracker back from last year. So, but with the tracker, it's not really a problem because most of the time you have the last location of the tracker, and then we can see who was it, who is the last position, where is the last position of the tracker, and then where's the address from this guy? It looks the same. So then you can write to them an email. But usually the organizer is responsible to bring all the trackers back.
And when talking about your internal processes, like when you receive an inquiry for tracker rentals until you send and maybe monitoring during the race, checking the configuration, how do you manage to keep the overview of all single steps which are related in, let's say, in tracker rental?
Yeah, every project manager from us has their events, and then they order the tracker by me. I put it in my system, and then I can show or have a look if it's possible at this amount, or if we are not able to do it because all trackers are out. Then I can ask Mickael if he has some left for me. And then I said, it's okay, it's fine, you can do it. And then every project manager from us does the configuration, whatever he needs, and brings it to his event. Usually we do the timing by ourselves, so we are at the place at the event. So we bring the tracker to them, hand it out, give it to the BIP distribution, they give it to the athletes, and then we have the overview always.
That means the number of tracker rentals are not limited through, let's say, internal friction or something like this. No, okay, no. That means you could please more demand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Good to hear.
Any further question?
Mickael,
Yeah.
you mentioned checksum.
Yeah.
What do you mean with checksum? I don't fully understand.
Okay, it's when you generate an ENI file. I will show you. It was here, I think. You can push this file to the devices. You can create it using the manage tool, the software from Queclink. There are inside 100 different settings you can configure. So I add into this frame. I add a checksum here, and it's not a checksum inside the manage tool. It's the report distance. You can ask to the device not to refresh the location each x second, but each meters. And I use this because this data was already displayed on the tracker page. I use this just to be sure that this number can be updated if one setting is missing inside of the file. At the end of when you push the devices, this file to the devices, it will hack each command. Each ET command, and at the end you have a feedback to say, okay, all the file is correctly inside the devices, and if I have the checksum into the tracker page, it means that all the file is correctly received. You have also, I don't know if I can have the same. It was too long, I think. You have also the same feedback from here if you just push settings file using the load configuration. I don't remember exactly the correct term, but you have the same feedback here, but it means you need to click one by one on each line to be sure, okay, I receive the hack. So it's just a trick to be sure that on one click using the normal view to say, okay, everything is fine. And I don't remember if it's yes, for example, the organizer asked me to switch, to add a new devices on this race. So the devices were already sent last week. So it's a spare device with another settings. And okay, it's normal because it's 600 meters, but it was the spare devices, but I have pending message. And when the organizer will start the device next week for this event, it will be automatically refreshed at 180 meters. So I will sure that all the devices have the same settings. Every setting I want, because yes, sometimes on specific event you can. The typical things is, for example, I use always the SOS button, and sometimes you can have SOS button already pushed in the bag. The organizer asks you to remove the SOS button. So if I can't remember 1 week later if every devices have always the SOS active enabled. So each time I push again every settings I want. To don't have any question about, okay, it's not just I will send just a refresh command to update the 1 minute. I will push always every settings I want inside.
Okay. Understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's okay. Thank you very much.